This is WUB, Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, and of course we've been waiting for the unveiling of this particular special guest. And
Unveiling?
he is our brother, and he's returned after last week's bombshell show to another conversation. He is attorney at law, Dickie Bradley. He made it clear last week, don't introduce me as Richard, because it's his son that is Richard.
Good morning.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I appreciate your being here.
I need to say that I was in a book. I'm reading The Message by Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Powerful.
Who is an African American writer, award-winning writer. He has also written We Were 8 Years in Power, meaning, of course, that black people had a president in the United States of America, which is one of the most interesting nations on the planet. So I brought it with me because I got a call, a telephone call from a certain host of a certain show. Why are you not in the studios as yet? So I also brought this book because I want to push my own self to say, whenever I accept an invitation, I've turned down many. Whenever I accept an invitation, I think I owe it to myself and to you, the viewers and the listeners. Creme have a unique set of viewers and listeners. I owe it to you to always make some reference to some important book. I also want to say that today and tomorrow, today the Turton Library on Northfront Street by Swing Bridge will unveil an exhibition from the collection of Hector Silva, who is still alive with us, very much alive. Big respect, Hector. We can be here today and gone later on in the morning.
That's right.
Not even tomorrow. So Hector Silva has a collection from all those years. He was a part of the revolution that brought us to independence. And so today, I think around maybe 10 in the morning, and it will be on all day, there'll be an exhibit of photographs and things to help remind us of our history, which we need now more than ever. Tomorrow at 6 or 7, most likely 6, the young poets of Belize, and there is a group, a formal group, and they are putting off their monthly poetry reading at Turton Library. I think last week Arlie had put it up on the screen. Somebody said they saw it. But these are things we need to encourage. Anyhow, I rush out in the weather and take the frustration of the morning traffic because, as Nuri has pointed out, Guatemala has now formally and officially publicly tell us where they jump off. And so we need to kind of discuss some of it, and we need to keep our eyes focused on that ball. Nuri and I have been saying this, and we may have mentioned it publicly late last year, early this year, that the world that we kind of grew up in and know has changed drastically and is changing rapidly, so that a nation named Israel, and let us understand that Guatemala and Israel are favorite nations of the United States of America. In the case of Guatemala, Guatemala agreed to allow the United States of America to train mercenaries in that country for the specific purpose of attacking Cuba and overthrowing the young revolutionary government that had come to office in that country. So that is how far one country, a Latin country, with their Latin brothers and sisters, decide that to hell with all of those ties and culture, and so we decide with America. They know why, because America keep the military and the elites in power.
When that deal was made, was there any promise made to Guatemala in
Well,
regards to
according to the Guatemalans, this was a time when the United States of America They still have this agency. I was teasing somebody only yesterday that they got a promotion and is moving up, and I say clearly the CIA, they lend you a hand card and have you hooked. This was a period when John Kennedy defeated Richard Nixon by a close, very close race for president of the United States. John Kennedy came from a wealthy family. They are extremely influential. His brother, he took his brother into government with him, and he was the Attorney General, and he was bringing down some pressure on the mafia and the criminal elements in the country, and he got shot too. They assassinated John Kennedy, they assassinated his brother Robert Kennedy, they took out Malcolm X, they took out Martin Luther King. These things are not coincidence, you know, this is like not, you know. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that Israel
But many
and Guatemala,
times these things happen and we don't understand it when it's occurring. And it's
Later
not
on.
until years later, which should tell us that there are things occurring now that we may not, some of us will understand it because we pay attention to it, but some will not understand it until it's analyzed for them years later. Like in this
when
case,
it's too late too.
yes, like in this case of Kennedy making a deal, which my understanding is that Belize was mentioned in that.
That's what the Guatemalans have said.
Yeah.
Official, high-ranking official, I think even a former president of Guatemala has said that America promised them that they would end up giving them Belize
Yes, yes.
for the big help that they were doing.
Right.
But
And
like
right after that came the Webster proposals and several other efforts on
that
the
is
part of the
correct. Yeah.
Americans.
We need to really spend time
We
on those
really
things
need to study
because,
this thing, yeah.
But I just need to say that fortunately, in
Yeah.
our view, in the lot of progressive people around the world, in their view, that attack against Cuba failed. The Cuban revolutionary. What a coincidence! Actually, somebody was kind enough to give me a shirt, which I'm wearing.
Yes.
I can't wear red because I said that boy I gone across the UDP. I definitely don't know the UP again. But you know, I got a last minute call when you get one gift and thing like that. I hurry all the time because it's kind of cold this morning. But
But
let me
you
just
can't
say,
expose it, leave it, because I think they
Huh?
only see the red, they don't see the
You
image
wicked,
of
you
who
know.
is there.
yeah.
And they don't know. We have a generation that doesn't know
Well,
that
but,
is the
but
great Jacob.
yeah. I'll take
Jacob
comfort. I'll take comfort from having read this in a widespread magazine that the second, all right, the most recognizable, portrait figure picture next to Jesus. Whatever color Jesus was, whatever
Yeah.
was his, we don't know, cause
Yeah.
nobody. But everybody, when they see that thing, they say that look like Jesus.
Yeah.
The next most popular across the world is Che Guevara.
Che Guevara.
Incredible because it is Fidel Castro who became the
Yes,
president.
yes,
No?
yes, yes, yes.
There's so much things to say, people.
A lot of
But let
things.
us
I
just
might
start.
also say that survey said that Malcolm X was also
Was
one of those. Yeah.
recognizable.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know, I was reading.
Which
on-
tells you something about your work here. That we are all mortal beings with only limited time.
very limited.
But we are intellectual, spiritual beings that live long beyond our mortal life. So Che Guevara is not with us for about 60, 70 years, murdered by the CIA, but just as alive because of people thinking and being turned over.
It's incredible.
So it tells us something about great men like Jesus, like Muhammad, who are gone thousands of years.
And still are here.
Yes. So that tells us about our own local people, likewise, who are gone, but are still here, inspiring us, you know.
I was speaking to Cyril Uruwe in Dangriga, who is trying to do a creme type of thing. But with the new technology that's available, you don't need a studio, you don't need antennas, you don't need a lot of expensive equipment. You can just basically get on Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
and start-
You're there.
So big respect, Cyril, because education, information, that is where it is.
Yes, sir.
In
Yes,
fact,
sir.
in the mighty United States of America, they shot a man named, I don't even know him, I never knew who he was, I'm really not interested from the little I've read, but they shot a man named Charlie Kirk, who is a staunch 1000% supporter of Donald Trump and what Trump and his family thinks. and give you one idea of how they think. It's not one idea, I'll give you one fact. The President of the United States of America says what they can do with Gaza is to just clear out everybody and turn it into a wonderful resort, like the French Riviera. You could just chase out 2,300,000 people out of a small strip of land, which is just like 70 miles long from here to Hattieville, and 3 miles at the bottom part, which is at the widest thing. Not 3 miles all the top front. Very small piece of land, because that same country supports 100% Israel and don't care how many Palestinians are. It's really murder when you set out to deliberately kill people.
Sure.
The big news this week is that the United Nations finally, as that bureaucracy works slow and so, but we still kind of need it, even though it's more and more becoming impotent. No? But the United Nations have said what Human Rights Watch, a big human rights group in the United States of America, Amnesty International, which is a worldwide human rights group in America, and many, including the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice, which we depend on with our problem in Guatemala, they have all said, and they are all slow and just reach there, they have said that Israel has intentionally and purposefully been committing genocide against the Palestinian people.
Incredible, man.
It's a real sad thing.
Because they owned that word for a long time.
Yeah,
it was,
70 years.
It was the Jews and the
what the President of the United States of America has put sanctions on the judges of these courts.
Incredible,
how far
incredible.
It has gone. So now let me segue from there and say, as Mr. Nui has been saying when I was on my way here, that Guatemala has now basically told us what we all suspect and hope that we were wrong, is that in 2025, what their military are doing in the Sastoon River is the policy of the government of Guatemala. This is a frightening, disturbing matter. We don't need this. We are just in the process of celebrating our birthday. Imagine you get ready for your birthday. Lemonade and like cake, which we don't have anymore for birthday. Birthday right now are just rum and more rum and more rum. But you get ready to celebrate your birthday, and one of your neighbor busts this bad news from you that my boy, the land where you live on, that's me and I, they take that. And then they in your yard already.
Yeah.
So this is a serious matter.
It is.
Let us say from here, this is not something for us to try and play any party politics with. This is not PUP and UDP. This is not like blame, when the UDP did it, then allow Guatemala to do what they want, and they must have done on the side, say, well, we don't mind if you get our student long as you left the rest and whatever. This is no time for that. This is, we are under threat from a big, vicious, ruthless neighbor who have a long history of blood on their hands. And this is happening in a world where might is right.
Yes, sir.
This is a very, very serious matter. Who do we run to? What are we going to do? I want to say some respect to the Prime Minister for keeping his cool under fire. This is not an easy matter.
Absolutely.
This is a very, very serious matter. Thanks to Wilma here and all those brave people who have taken a big risk to go down in that river at this time. Do not repeat it. Do not go into that Sastoon River. Those people can shot you all and nothing will come out of it. And you see how their foreign ministry has put out a public lie that it is we believe that they caused the trouble. That we they get in at the river and they stir up things.
We are the provocateur.
We are the people that provoke.
Yeah.
You can't go provoke no giant nowadays. Do not repeat that risk, yeah?
Can I drive that point home, because it ought not to be interpreted that we the punk out and that we just said to Will and others, why not do that, because this is not from fear, but this is from understanding how the circumstances are changing and the reality of the climate in the world today. If you say Djibouti in the world, people say, where that? Who that? Where that there? There are many sections of the world that when you mention it to the world population, they don't even know where they. So if you tell them Belize, the Sarstoon, and we assume that we want to get 90% of the world to start paying attention to us, we may be naive. We may be putting ourselves into a situation. So it's important to understand this, because guess what? People now are looking to see who will encourage us to get into the face of Guatemala. So I could see where both Francis and Johnny, they try tulips and daffodils, because there's a sentiment among us that want to confront. You may go on yourself.
Several times.
You see? So we were in that sentiment to confront and to not provoke, but to say we're there. Now it's a situation where they are saying that you to provoke we, so therefore maybe we have a
we not around.
Yeah, so therefore if we do something to you, when we don't put out something international and tell you, see where I tell you them people had to interfere with me? And that they come in for we area and we had to do something to one of them.
And you know, Nuri and listeners and viewers, you know that because we in Belize, like we don't read, we don't pay attention to the serious things that are happening in the country as well as out of the country. We are, it's almost like by design, we are being kept backward and ignorant. Because, and it's easy to be wise in hindsight, because when the Guatemalan military, which still call the shots in Guatemala, when the Guatemalan military come put their flag on our country, we should have right away, if we were more aware, if we were more conscious of the world we are now living in, that is a big signal. A nation which claims you, which has a long, ignoble and bloody history of slaughtering its own people by the thousands and tens of thousands.
It's a tantamount to an invasion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? It's a tantamount to an invasion when you come in at somebody's yard
with your flag
and establish something, you tell people that this belongs to me and I only that the one where they provoke me. Yes, caller, make your point, please. We do have a guest in the studio.
Brother Nuri.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. How old are you, okay?
Our guest is Mr. Bradley, Mr. Dickie Bradley.
Don't call no name. Don't call no name, caller.
I nearly never call no name. But you gotta make it fast. You gotta make it fast, Kalimo, because our time right now is restricted.
Mr. Bradley, Mr. Nuri, listen to me.
Yes, sir.
I kind of don't really want to go to Guatemala point, but I have to because that.
Yeah.
I will tell you something. I have 2 children who live in Guatemala, so I have access to crime. I believe that one of the first things we should do is to lock off the border. Tell all them people who go to school, they can't go here. That way, because when the country know they are crime, and lock the border. Now, if the cow go across the border, the cow not going no more.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I think we get your point. That was made earlier. Make I get Mr. Bradley to comment on that. Take care. All right.
Well, thanks for the call, caller, and thanks for the greetings.
Well, you know, people are saying that they want we lock off the border and tell the picnic they can't come across. Yeah.
No, we are not.
Take aggressive actions.
That's not being prudent. It's a reaction. We have no quarrel with the people of Guatemala. We have no quarrel with young people, students who come to our country to learn. People to people, we must keep all the connections that we can, because the people in Guatemala are not our enemies. It's the government, and it's the government's connection to other places. Why would they want to pick on us at this particular time? when the world is in turmoil and is distracted. This is not right so, you know. This is not sound like, you know, this is a well thought out matter. They have been pushing and prodding, and they have finally come now and take the gloves off of their hand, and you could see that it's not, I want to shake. This is, I'm coming to hit you hard. When your soldiers come into our country with your flag and is putting it in our country, that's the biggest signal. Because the next day they don't go back to quote unquote normal. This is now the new Guatemala. They are patrolling in our territory. And we have to not talk no macho talk now, because we know in no position to back it up. We don't got nothing, we don't got any drone. We don't have a second-hand helicopter. We don't have nothing. We need to be very careful. Shakespeare, who I was taught Shakespeare at St. Michael's College, one of the greatest writers, in one of his plays says that discretion is the better part of bravery. No sense you get brave and you're dead. No sense you get brave and then the man end up on for we, then end up on inside of Toledo. Because they don't even need a provocation. They will just make up a lie. When you see that footage of Will Mejia standing on the bow of one of the boats, waving to the Guatemalans, and they tell them that the Rio is Belize, and they get into and back and forth to the people, they could just shut him and tell that he had something in his hand, and when he dropped the water, the gun dropped the water.
Ask yourself, where is Djibouti?
They don't know.
And most people scratch their head. So an incident in the Sarstoon, getting into where it will make a difference to we. Because we are know, and we are be concerned, and we are even want to do something about it. But for it to make the difference that we want it to make in the international arena, where the world's people are looking at so many areas of conflict, do we believe that an incident in the Sarstoon will blow to the point where the international community will come and intervene with that process, and it will take place in a short time? No, this may be something that stretches out for a much longer time. The annexation of the Gaza area on the part of the
example.
Look, they have been annexing with us, the rest of the world, on these different talk shows saying, Israel, you're wrong, America, do something about it. What has happened? Nothing. So we have to be very, very realistic. Do you mind us taking a call, brother?
No, not at all.
All right. Welcome, caller.
Yeah, morning, brother.
Yeah, man. Yes,
morning.
I heard the comments just now, but I would just like to ask Brother Bradley, what would it take from the government, since he was have more knowledge with the government, to get the British to help us? Because the British is the only people that can help us. And if you were saying earlier that Guatemala has a big giant on their side, which is the U.S., but right now the U.S. is depending on the British to back them up. So why can't we get the British to help me, and then the British will tell America, well, you know what, you have to tell Guatemala, ease up for my land.
It's a very good question, sir.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. Thank you, my brother.
It's an excellent question, and it will come up more and more. But I'm sorry to be the one to bust that bubble. I have read as much as I can the books and the documents in relation to Guatemala's claim against Belize, and I'm asking for 3 minutes to try to explain this.
All right, please go ahead.
This matter, the greatness of George Price came to me over the years that I've been reading. I come from an opposition family, and my family have a low opinion of George Price and swallowed all the propaganda that it sell way out, it bring in Latin people for destroy way, and so on and so forth. When the decision was made that we were to teach Spanish in the schools of Belize, my grandmother said to me and my cousins, don't make them teach Spanish, because this is how they want to turn the country into a part of Guatemala. They didn't want to teach didn't want us to learn to speak Spanish. That's how the fear and the thing with Guatemala is so ingrained in the previous generation. But let me tell you something. First of all, the former prime minister of this country, Said Musa, told me that on a visit to Washington, an official visit to Washington, that Alexander Haig, who was one of he was actually the second most powerful man in the sense that he was in charge of the whole military operations as well, no? But they showed him a map. The way in Krem here we have a map of the world. They pulled down one of the things where you could haul down this map and haul down this area. And they showed the Prime Minister of Belize, he was then Foreign Minister, and he said that, why your country can't just give Guatemala right up to the Temash River? Just give them, it's a small thing, it's uninhabited, it's no loss, nothing, it doesn't affect the state. That is what we would support that take place. Now, very serious matter, because Mr. Nuri just mentioned something the young generation does not know, that the Americans offered to solve the problem between Guatemala and Belize. And they brought down a top lawyer by the name of Bethel Webster. And his proposal was basically for Guatemala to just
take it over,
be in charge of our economy, be in charge of our defense, and we would end up being a part of Guatemala. Thanks to Philip Golson, that matter was in fact protested in the streets. People they throw bottle and stone and they try and lead and riot, and that matter did not go through. And we can't discount the fact that it is George Price who stick his ground. Not an inch of the territory. When you start to give way thing, they will come till they get all the way they want.
We better maintain that up to right now.
Yes.
Caller, go ahead.
Brother, Nori and Brother Bradley again. Listen, I find it so amazing that last week we had a topic that was really hitting the head. Okay. And all of a sudden this Guatemala thing pop up like a distraction to focus our attention instead of Joseph Budna. We're going to Guatemala now. Yeah. Why is it that every time we have pressing issues in Belize, Guatemala issue arises?
Because this is the big elephant in the room. This is the
this is the
existential
distraction.
No.
Intentional distraction.
My brother, we disagree that this is just a distraction. This is more than a distraction.
No, it's a reality.
But Budna is not that important when you compare Budna's case with this case. Clearly, this will always supersede everything else. But I don't argue with you because we have a guest in the studio. Thanks. Go ahead. It is a view that is taken.
Yeah. But if Guatemala wanted a distraction, they could have come and take Budna.
Yeah, exactly. Or
they could have when they get over there, they could have
create one situation if that was a Guatemalan inspired thing.
And that does not mean, Carla, it's a good point you're raising. It doesn't mean, and it's worth bearing it in mind, but it doesn't mean, for example, that it is something in collusion with Guatemala and so on, because you may have heard the news that Arthur Saldivar and Michelle Trapp and Emerita, what's Emerita? And Emerita Anderson.
Is that Emerita?
They spell it funny on the thing, but maybe that's just like
it's a female. It's a woman.
It's a
they put it as a male name.
It's the former wife of the former Attorney General, the former Director of Public Prosecution. Kirk Anderson, the lawyer.
Oh, Kirk from
Jamaica, who's a judge in Jamaica. Yes, but Carla, yes, we have to keep our eye open, have to make sure nobody they try to distract me and so on. But as Mr. Nuri tell you, the Budna matter is like a little mosquito compared to this huge elephant. Guatemala has been claiming Belize unrelentingly over the years. I want to throw this in, but I don't want us to get too distracted. The British are not with us.
Yeah. And Trump is with the British right now.
Well, the British, they suck up under Donald Trump, and Donald Trump helped them out because Donald Trump, they signed one thing where it's almost now like $250 billion worth of investment that American companies will put into the UK. Because the Prime Minister of UK is in trouble, he will probably get replaced.
Yeah, very serious.
No, they're doing a good job at all. They were very popular 1 year ago. And look where they are now. So Yes, it's something to bear in mind. The Budna thing will not go away because we are actually saying that maybe if we government involved in a kidnapping one of our citizens and send her over there.
Yeah.
But on the Guatemalan issue, we need to stay focused. We need to keep it cool, and we don't need to want to react and show that we march out and we this.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Okay, caller, go ahead, please. Caller. Hello. Yeah, go ahead, caller. Yeah, caller, go ahead. You need to turn the radio. You're listening to the delay.
All right, 1 second.
All right, we're very short of time, caller, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Bradley.
Yes, sir. Morning. Morning, sir.
All right. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, we're listening to you, brother. Go ahead.
Good morning.
I got a question. Mr. Bradley, I like the point where I tell us about whale, man, standing from the bow of the boat and they point to them, and I sit down and I watch it and I tell my woman, like, yo, dangerous the whale just, you know, the Guatemalan could kill the whole, everybody for the boat and nobody and know nothing. You understand? I think the BTV put the life on the line, I think. They go to make Guatemala go there and make Guatemala know that, yo, this belongs to we, but it's very dangerous. Understand? I think if anybody had talked to the Guatemalans, told us that you have to be calm or cool. You have to be like the BDF, you understand? You can't provoke nothing and let people feel like, yo, you big a bull and you're the name of militant man, you're not ex-militant, yes, but the way how Wilmer to talk to them, man, yo, it's very dangerous. Understand?
All right.
The question I really want to ask though, do you think that how Guatemala look on with money, that the Queen had not there on money, and look for it and tell me they like, yo, the British have we back no more, and they know we don't have no military in terms of numbers. They're outnumbered way. You understand? So how you think they look for the money and say, boy, the British guy and then the people that have their back no more.
All right.
Who is John Price? Who is Philip Porter? You understand?
Got you, brother.
And,
All right.
yeah,
that is
man.
All right. Thanks, brother. Good.
that is a concern that have been expressed by a small number of Belizean people. I think what it points out too is that we have failed as a society, as a government, both blue and red, to have our people properly informed and educated. If we are informed and we are an educated population, we don't fall for every little thing which is that is distraction.
That is
a distraction.
Yeah.
The placing of the replacing or the replacement of the queen or king, or the king never did get an our money. The replacing of the monarch of our money and putting our own heroes, everybody would welcome that. That's not a problem. That don't mean nothing. It don't mean the dollar won't fall, the money won't weaker, our enemies will come after us. Because can I tell you, I'm one who is 100% against it, but it is what it is for right now. That in the Constitution of Belize, our supreme law, our highest law, the king of Britain, the British monarch, whether I'm a queen or a king, the British monarch is the head of our state. The head of state for Belize is not the Governor General. She is just appointed to represent the monarch. The British monarch is the head of our state. That's far more important than our picture up on the money.
Save that for the next time we come on. We're going to discuss this whole idea of a republic.
Yeah.
But I want you to touch the situation in Kikaka. And absolutely, I think it's important that we take a little look at that Budna thing, even though, you know, but go ahead with Kikaka. You wanted to make some points.
All right. Well, there will be a referendum on the 8th of next month for persons who are registered on our island of Kikaka. By the way, Guatemala not interested in a key kaka right now. They want a pretty one because these people don't even know nothing about hunting key and sapadilla key. Listen, we are so backward.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a criticism. We have our own television stations and we have no program to inform and educate our people. Our TV stations, they do a good job in bringing the news. Everybody watch the news, whether upon social media, everybody watch the news. And they all do a good job to keep us aware. They happen every day. This one get knocked down, that one get shot, this happened, that happened. But in terms of education, of all the television and radio stations in this country, only CREM commits its time to try to help to inform and educate us. I had spoken briefly with Wilmer here, we're in contact and friends, and he had invited me and I gone down to the Guatemalan edge. But we need to inform and educate our people. We need to have programs that are, oh man, I didn't know that. Oh, you this is what is happening. We need to know things because we are so ignorant. And I mean ignorant in the English word, not the Creole word. In a Creole, when you're ignorant, you're like you're an idiot. In Jamaican, they say E. They don't spell it I-D-I-O-T. E, an idiot, my boy, an idiot. Bombo clot, idiot. Ignorant means I don't know. I am ignorant about electronics, mechanical thing. Anything happened to my vehicle, all I do is put water in the radiator and check the battery pole. I'm ignorant about that.
Indeed.
The TV, they give you trouble, or my phone, I don't know if it do nothing on it. I'm ignorant about that kind of area. So, we are ignorant as a people. We know to do the things that we need to do. I want to just segue and come back to kikaka and marijuana. There is a program and a project that the government has that involves MSME. It's a foolish thing in terms of the name because it means medium, small, and micro enterprise.
Right.
Basically, my brothers and my sisters, it has to do with small business. The government has gotten a grant and a loan for millions of dollars. I think it's 28 million or 30 million dollars to lend and give to people who have ideas. You want to open a barber shop, a panade shop, you want to open a little small neighborhood grocery store, you want to, I could list off a dozen other businesses that you would want to do. For example, another thing is this. We just mentioned on your show, Nuri, a few days ago, that if we had access to the money, we would get a sewing machine and start to make school bags.
Exactly.
We could have a cooperative. George Price believe in a cooperative. Right. Within our village.
Indeed.
One 10 we want got 10 sewing machine and we make.
Yes.
We could
and
make
you know
jam.
Have to go to Guatemala to buy your
Thank
uniform.
You.
Yes.
We could do uniform, as one of the callers said. And my brother, when I was young, at the place we used to call hostel, where I know how I built a college there, which they call, I can't remember the name, but
it was St. Michael's and then it became Maud Williams.
All right. So my point is that we used to make jam. The people in the rural areas, they bring the jam, the tongue and sell to the city people. And a lot of things could grow and make. Yes.
Remember that?
My grandfather had a cotton tree.
Yes.
Along with the spinach.
What I thought you were going to point out is the fact that money does exist in our economy, in our coffers now.
Crucial.
But they know they advertise on the south side. We get many small businesses on the south side started.
People, my brother, we need to tell you.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You talk about the south side being a special area. Well, then take your economic people and bring them in and start to plow that area, mine that area with so many small businesses, and you will see a reduction of some of the crime problems.
And the other side of that, Nuri and listeners, is that anytime you don't buy orange juice from abroad and coconut water, even coconut milk and coconut itself in a can, and the hundreds of imported food stuff and drinks from abroad, which we can do here. We are sending out our limited money to our next country.
Exactly.
We help the farmers in another country instead of build up the farmers and the entrepreneurs and the business
so
people.
how do you change that mind? Is it that we need a concerted effort
Yes.
to educate our people daily.
To put pressure
to
upon the
start
political
making their
directorate.
understanding, and this is
Yeah.
how we should move.
Yeah.
But we can't have this $20-odd million in small businesses. And you can only, I don't want to call no name,
Yeah, no, don't.
but you can only see certain areas where businesses continue to pop up, which means the money is being utilized.
Lot of
But
money
we've
there.
talked a lot at times about Southside being a special development area in the country. We've been talking about it from the time that this administration came in. And if that money is here, then we ought not
The
to
money
just,
is here.
Yeah, we ought not to just depend on people hearing about it. We should go out and campaign and let people know that money is available. And then here is the incubator where you could join and learn how to put your business and structure your business together. And after you pass this process, here is the money. But we're not to give you the money. We just set it up in such a way that you can work your business and pay back the loan so that we could put that loan money into somebody else's business. Man, this is no rocket science, man.
Sure.
Welcome, caller. You're the last call for the morning. Welcome.
Good morning, brother. Good morning.
Morning.
I am that Christ from the wilderness, but I know.
Man who used to do that, we lose your head.
Yeah, boy.
And that redistricting business. Yuri and Dickie, Jerry and Lucas, Arthur Saldiva, Audrey Matura, we need to get some serious people. That thing has to be done and done right.
Can I say this to you,
It's
caller?
a
Just
serious thing.
can I say this to you, caller? Just for the sake of time.
Yes.
We have a commitment from Mr. Arthur Saldiva to be our guest tomorrow, and that is one of the questions we'll bring to him. Would you
Sure,
excuse?
I'll call
Yeah,
tomorrow.
well, would you excuse us and you could deal with it
Sure,
tomorrow?
I'll call tomorrow, but
Okay.
I'm also recommending you and Dickie to think serious
Sure.
about redistricting has to be done right.
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Thank you. All right, Dickie, we're there at the last part.
Key Cocker and marijuana, cannabis sativa L.
Yeah.
I sorry I have to start by saying that I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. I never did, one or two times, because the advertisement had impressed me. Says that Guinness brings out the power in you. Sometimes we need to bring out the power.
Yes.
We're at the talk sexual power.
Well, I understand.
But I don't drink alcohol, and I publicly praise God for helping me not to have waste my time drinking when I could be reading good books, man. I drink and talk fool and high and don't know yourself. And so I don't drink, and I don't smoke cigarette, never did, and I don't smoke weed, never did. Although I'm always talking in favor of stop harass people over weed, and then still the care people are quote for leave it a weed, you know. It's still waste time.
Oh, yes.
So I say that
Contradicting
because
the existing laws in regards to how much is prohibited, etc. So
Yeah.
that in itself has to be worked out.
indicate, we even do a stupid thing and arrest tourists because they gonna eat 11 grams of weed and 10 grams of weed
Yeah.
and 18 grams of weed. Man,
Won't
that's-
take too long before we fall off though, because
Sure.
a lot of those people who are coming, they're assuming that they can bring in
Yeah, weed.
marijuana because they've heard that there's a 10-gram thing here, and it's not till they get here that they find out.
Put up a sign at the airport.
They're thinking of this and thinking of that. It's
Put
two
up a sign
different
at the
ways.
airport. If you are bringing in marijuana, please dispose of it in the trash cans before you
Yeah.
reach the customs.
Precisely.
Rather than embarrass people. But let us start there. So what I'm saying has nothing to do with, there's no personal preference or no axe we're grinding. This is an interesting thing for our democracy. It's extremely interesting for a democracy because in a democracy, the will of the people is what is to guide the leaders. Because, as I said, we have a background and we're ignorant and we don't know how the thing goes. We think that they could do what they want and we have to go along with it. But that is not democracy. So, there is a law that allows a referendum. We could have a national referendum like the one we did for whether we want to go to ICJ with Guatemala or no. Or you could have a localized referendum. I think there was one in Belmopan.
In Belmopan.
Yes, there
Right.
was just for Belmopan.
Yeah.
And so now some bright people in Kikaka, big respect to them, have said, well, you know, the government, they're not sure what they want to do with this marijuana thing. So make we do our own thing here. A lot of people come here and they want to smoke weed. We could make our money, tax it, and get our money. They could be right, they could be wrong. That is not the issue. The issue is they have a right for the majority of people on that island, which is a little village, to say we want to make an economic enterprise, a business. We do this a business. The tourists, they come and want to smoke weed. I'm going to say something else, which this is because of what I hear in San Pedro. A lot of people sell their body at San Pedro to tourists. People sell their body and make money. No, it's sung immoral and it's sung a kind of way, but you do it why your body, your business. Mm-hmm. So my point is, a law allows for a referendum. The bad news right there, I want to say, the bad news to Kikaka and all the rest of it, a referendum is not binding on the government. If a big majority or just a bare majority vote to say they want marijuana there, it does not bind the government to go change law.
Say it again, brother.
That is bad news for Kikaka. Whoever advised them need to tell them, you could go through this whole process and the government can say, at this time, we are looking at the matter of marijuana on a national level, so we're not going to get into that right now. You can't you can't go to court and get an order that they must follow the wishes of the people of Kikaka. A referendum on anything, nationally or locally, is not binding on the government, and maybe that is one of the things we need to do in the country. Why have a referendum law if they don't have to follow it?
Exactly. What is the idea?
Yeah, we make that point. When it suits, then they follow it. So we need to start there. The second thing is that because of what is going on around us and with us, we want to make sure that when it comes to drugs, drugs are not good things, you know. Anything will become a drug. Like if all you do when you knock off work, that get front of your television till you get sleepy at night and then you wake up, go and come back, you're addicted to television.
That is addiction.
And television is this is the biggest art form in the world, you know, to watch movies and
this is what they say to go this.
Woo!
You can't get out.
They are starting to
scroll.
That important new way, they are starting to try to look at ways to ban Facebook and things to make it not available to the young generation.
Yeah. But you see the riot that it created when you tried to do that in Nepal.
Well, that's because they're trying to keep political issues away from the population.
Yeah, but this is where the politics
have changed the world.
In Belize, this is where the politics there right now.
Yeah.
Every politician has to jump on this because they don't meet me out the bridge foot there or meet me out the court.
It's a who thief Budna.
This that is
who thief Budna.
This is the way you call it nearly so industry.
Yeah. So listen, I'm in favor of starting at the tourist village and at the tourist places in Placencia and Kikaka and San Pedro and so, that if foreigners who want to smoke weed and we could turn it into a controlled business, we ought to look at it seriously. But at the same time, we also have to say what Mr. Nuri just said. Why are we not focusing attention on stopping imported things that we can make here and we can grow here? Here I mean H-E-R-E, not the Afro here. We need to be very, I can't understand how we allow so many things to be imported in here. Do you know, callers and viewers and listeners, we are going to run into some problem with coconut. I have spoken to 3 different coconut vendors. Rather than smoke and weed, I would rather drink on coconut water and eat the meat. When I go buy coconut water, I always buy and eat $2 worth of meat. Because the meat is healthy. I want to stay healthy. I work hard for my money. I don't want to go carry the doctor. I want my money. We have to eat healthy. But the point I want to try and make is that we are now told by the Minister of Agriculture that we have the opportunity to export coconut. They are already, the Mennonites who have a big chunk of coconut, they are already telling the local vendors, I can't sell you more than so much because we are getting ready to export the coconut. Coconut, they're like cow and pig, you know. Any amount of cow Belize how we could sell to Guatemala and Mexico. Can you imagine that people smuggle cow out of Belize into Guatemala? How the heck you get cow out of Belize into Guatemala? But the big money. So we need to look at things rational, and we need to see if it can work, and it is a good thing. That is what we're trying to say. But don't be frightened by the fact that the people in Kikaka may vote to say, we want to have a regulated, controlled marijuana industry. Because can I tell you this? With or without law, people will sell weed to people who want to buy weed. You can't stop that. That's like cocaine in America. Then could bomb Colombia off of the face of the map. Then could shoot every boat where they come from down so. And people in the United States of America who are addicted, who are messed up, they need to pay attention to their own people. People want cocaine. No one want it, they need it, the kind of lifestyle, they need something like coffee in the morning. Like nearly all Americans drink coffee in the morning because the caffeine, it boosts you up a bit. So we need to look that we in Belize are talking to our people, that there's an education program to say, you don't need to smoke no weed. You can find many other recreational things to do. We need to start, caller, let me end on this, Nuri. We need to find the money to have musical instruments in all our schools. This is more important than money being spent all over the place. One of these days we'll come and bring somebody maybe and ask Nuri to have a show with all the boards that are appointed in our country. Water board, DEL board, social security board, this board, that the board, all of them, they pay these people to be on the boards. Then they get a nice allowance just to be a member on a board, 1 day for the month to go to a meeting. And if you add it all up, you talk about millions of dollars,
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? We could put that money into them people. You know how much people on Southside right now, if you go and say, listen, I have $10,000 for lend you. You have to pay back for 5 years and you only have to pay back 2% interest. What kind of business you want to do? Can I hurry say this? The young ladies in Belize. I'm talking to you now, girls. The young ladies in Belize are so blessed. Where these young women come from, they are all divas and movie stars. You look at our girls, their hair, their nails, their clothes, their body. They are blessed, twice blessed. No, that is an industry. That who take the time and fix their nails? Who weave in here into them? When I go to school, I used to tease one or two and then young girl pick a head. It's such a disgraceful and shameful thing. Sometimes even the teacher, when they make it, say, you will pick a head. Listen, we don't got pick a head again because we could put in Brazilian hair. We could all kind. It's an industry.
Yeah, indeed.
Our girls can have a salon. They call it where you go in there and then take care of you and then could do this and people.
We need
to make money, man. We need to make money.
And maybe one of the things that we'll do one of these days here on this show is only to talk about
how to make money.
Enterprising development, small businesses especially. We don't got a lot of time, Dickie, so I'm going to have to ask you to make some closing comment. Groove got in on our show this morning and took about 15 minutes to this conversation. So I'm taking back his 15 minutes. No. We need to continue the conversation, as every time you're here, there's a value in your communicating, because you bring things for us to think about and to reflect on.
And make enemies in
life. And you're
later.
brave enough to stay in the groove. You don't move away and be afraid to discuss the topic. You address the topic, and that's very important. But we got time constraints on us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your closing comments. I'm sorry it has to be like that, but go ahead and make your comments. Closing comments.
I want to say that at this particular time, while we get ready in just a couple more days to mark another anniversary of our independence, I want to say that we need to commit ourselves to listen before we jump to conclusion on any matter, but in particular, this new threat. This threat from Guatemala is not to be taken lightly. We live in a new world where if they come over the Sarstoon and land on the Toledo, we can't do nothing. Don't anybody believe that you could call Britain and say, we want to put back the Queen for the money, please help with. It don't work like that. The giant in the world is the United States of America. Tomorrow morning, the President of the United States can call the President of Israel and tell him, don't fly another plane, don't shoot another missile, stop that war, and they have to stop it. It's America that gives them billions of dollars, and it's America that gives them their weapons. And the other white rulers in Europe are a big part of it as well. They are complicit. They are a part of killing out a people. There's no war going on in no Gaza, you know. The Palestinians don't have no missiles and tanks and planes to fight back. Then they run from one side to the next. They announce that we're bombing in the central part of Gaza, move on yourself. Then go move and tell them we are now bombing at the north. They have to move again. All they do that killing every day. Dozens and dozens of people in Palestine are killed. The figure that they tell you that so far it's 62,000 people, that is wrong. Yeah? Much more. So let me just end up by saying this. I want to say I have big respect for the man who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, and the Prime Minister, that you guys need to listen. Belize we have to do what George Price did. George Price faced a situation like this on behalf of the people of Belize. When Guatemala kept announcing over and over that they'll come and take this country, they had the full support of all the Latin countries. Every country in Central America and South America supported Guatemala. When in the 70s they said they will now come in and they can't wait no longer and whatnot, we had a big problem in the 70s with Guatemala, you know. In fact, the same British who I'm telling you are not going to help us. Maybe we could get some help from them, because who knows? They had to fly some plane for hundreds and hundreds of miles, which were out in the Bahamas or Bermuda or one of the other places, non-stop. They fueled in mid-air to bring them here. When those planes came, they were called the Harriers. When they fly over Belize, my boy, and up and down, fly over, even our basketball stars, they used to have Harrier Lang, because he could jump so high. These planes can stop in mid-air.
Yeah,
they can go like helicopter.
Yeah.
They could go up, they could go down, they could go to the side. It's an amazing thing.
Oh, yeah.
That is what sent a message to Guatemala: do not cross that border. Do not cross that border. Now we're not sure if we're going to get that, because the British are the ones that caused this problem. They signed a treaty with Guatemala and said, if you give us this piece of land, if you agree that we could boundary this off and so, we will build a road from Guatemala to the sea. That is in the treaty. Everybody could read it for themselves. They never did it. They blame Guatemala that you may do this and you never do it, and Guatemala blamed them. The point is that Guatemala has never stopped claiming our country. Yeah? And now in September of 2025, they are now saying it publicly. And when
that we are the problem.
Yeah, and when a nation sends soldiers to put their flag on a part of your territory, the Sarstoon is our territory, you know. If they have a referendum and they ask the people, do you agree to allow Guatemala to get the Sarstoon River? In return, they will sign a treaty with the United Nations and everybody that they will leave us alone. We probably would say yes. We are not fighters, we are lovers. Yeah, any fighting broke out down the PG, don't think we will all be jumping from bus going and boat going down there. You know, it's the other way around. So I want to say, Foreign Minister and Prime Minister, please keep on the cool that on do right now, and keep us fully informed. Don't make rumors get in and politics get in. Keep us fully informed. Now you all have to drop everything else on the do. Stop the waste money on that and consulate. You know, like $15 million a year they spend on consulate when they do nothing, you know.
And they're here for diplomatic week, so you could just look and see.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So we need to go out. We need to go out and knock on doors and tell the world what is going on.
And you know what would happen? If we were to take that position, just say now, if we were to take the press office and turn it into an information distributing so that every day, 3 or 4 times, there's an announcement about this and repeating the history, etc. It would change the climate not only here in Belize, but it would cause the Guatemalans to say, what are they up to now? Because they were not that concerned before.
Yeah.
They all of a sudden now are getting serious. They're putting out government announcement 4, 5, 6 different times. Even if you have to make it short, Belize belongs to Belize, not to Guatemala. I don't care how you put it, but that consistently over a period of time, because the war today is in ideas. It's not so much in armaments as much as it is in ideas. So if we were to do that consistently, imagine
it would be
how they would react.
It would be a kind of reverse Budna in this sense, that Guatemala may think if they take the Sarstone by force, nobody will pay attention to that. And then suddenly we blow it up. If it's true that somebody high up is behind the kidnap and abduction of Budna, they made a massive miscalculation. Yes?
Good point.
Massive miscalculation. So we need to go out and tell the world where it happened. I also want to call on my friend Minister Mala, who is the Minister for the Diaspora. The same thing you are saying just now, Nuri, is so important for us to tell our people. Because we will need our people to, if necessary, hold up placards and go to the important embassies and the places of power to say Guatemala is attacking Belize. Because that is an attack.
Yes.
When your military
you can't put a flag on my yard and think that's not an invasion. That is an invasion, man.
We take this thing lightly. People are Belize. I don't want no kind of alarmist understanding, but Guatemala has started something which is bad news for us. Let me tell you this. No care where the International Court of Justice said, just like how Israel no care what they said in the bomb because they ain't got back up. Once Guatemala satisfied and had a backup, Guatemala that never do anything to do right so man. Come on.
We gotta see.
It's a very serious matter.
Absolutely.
They would never, their Ministry of Foreign Affairs have professional people. They don't play any kind of games. They know what they're doing. Maybe they want to impress the people at the ICJ that guess what? Guatemala have to get something, you know. I could not understand. I cannot understand this. I don't believe it, right? But let me share it with you. Then they tell me, oh, we've got a quote and win everything. Guatemala want to lose everything again. You could go make them Monday look shit into for their population. You could be in Guatemala, agree if you got a quote and not get nothing. You don't really believe that this big, massive nation on the side that we will go to a court knowing that they have to turn on and eat their own vomit to their people.
Not a world where might make right.
So
might make right in this world, my brother.
What Nuri is saying needs to be repeated over and over. We start to educate our people. Tell them where it happened. Why can we not know what exactly Guatemala is arguing at the ICJ? There's no secret in that. Why we don't know what we are responding to their claim at the International Court of Justice? There's no secret to that. What are we arguing? On what grounds? What are the things? We need to educate our people, otherwise this thing will turn out bad.
We got to stop. I appreciate your last words there.